For thousands of years, the Ramayana has inspired generations with its timeless ideals of duty, courage, and compassion. Across India, the diya has long been a symbol of hope, a reminder that even the smallest light can illuminate the path forward. For millions, it also honors the homecoming of Rama, whose life continues to inspire through his unwavering commitment to righteousness. Today, we honor that enduring tradition and the belief that even a single light can inspire millions. The Ramayana has endured because every generation has chosen to carry it forward. Today, it is our privilege to bring this timeless epic to audiences around the world.
How we doing, San Diego Comic-Con? I am so excited to be here today. They are bringing out some truly beautiful work that's going to be assembling behind me. How is this for a Thursday panel? Now, the Ramayana is one of the world's greatest and most enduring epics, reimagined through extraordinary filmmaking, groundbreaking visual effects, and an internationally acclaimed creative team, and it's going to deliver an experience designed for the biggest screens possible to be seen all over the world, and you're about to see things no one else has ever seen. I want to feel that energy. We cannot play it because we want to keep it exclusive just for you guys, and if you're good, we might even play it twice. So keep that in mind. That is how we get to keep nice things. So those cameras are cool for now. Now, today, we are going to be talking about the absolute epic, a story that is beyond important in scope and scale, beyond important in just its relevance and reverence. And I would like to kick things off by saying you're about to meet an Academy Award winning talented team behind this epic, as well as the biggest superstars from all of India. Do you guys want to kick things off? All right, let's kick it off by bringing out the founder of Prime Focus Studios, the producer of hits like Angry Birds, Garfield, and Animal Friends, as well as CEO of DNEG, the 8-time Academy Award-winning visual effects powerhouse that is also bringing us the Odyssey and Dune 3 this year alone. Let's hear it for producer Namit Malhotra. The man himself, let's hear it for him. And let's hear it for the winner of the National Film Award for Best Screenplay, National Film Award for Best Feature in Hindi, director of Dangal, the highest grossing Indian film in the world. Give it up for our director, Nitish Tiwari. Let's hear it for Nitish. All right, gentlemen, let's have a seat. So this is far away one of my most anticipated film experiences I can remember ever. And I was struck from the moment I heard the first 4 words of the tagline. The tagline is "Our truth, our history." And that resonated so much, it's so powerful. For audiences not familiar with this epic tale, how would you describe the entry point to the film?
I think, firstly, it's great to be here at Comic-Con. Thank you all for having me. I think Ramayana sort of predates everything, depending on who you speak to. This is the most formidable part of our culture back in India, and it's, people obviously call it the first real story of the universe. So, as someone who's sort of bringing that, or responsible to bring that to all of you all over the world, I think it's fair to say that we give it the reverence and the respect that Ramayana truly deserves. And for people who know India or Indian culture, the festival of Diwali, which is really the biggest celebration of holiday that happens in India, really is based off on the Ramayana, which is Lord Ram coming back after being exiled for 14 years, being victorious and bringing his bride back, Sita. And that is what was celebrated with his homecoming. There were candles and lamps lit up all across the city, and that signified the whole concept of good over evil. And that, I think, is very prevalent and visible in many, many cultures today. And I think this is no different in that sense.
You and I spoke about the festival being, to scale and scope, for my understanding, like a mix of Christmas meets the 4th of July and this giant importance. Can you talk about the festival itself and how it relates?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that it's literally Christmas, because this is the time when family, friends, you meet, you greet, you gift, you sort of give and take. A lot of religious ceremonies are celebrated. Fireworks is a big part of Diwali. Obviously, with all the global warming and being good to Mother Nature, some of that has rolled back. But otherwise, fireworks and dazzling display of light is actually a very big part of Diwali.
And Nitesh, I always wondered, with something this enormous, to tell it in film, why the medium of film and why now? Why do you feel like we're ready for a movie of this scale with technology and development?
See, Ramayana has been told many times in many forms. In India, we have this culture that Ram Leela, I don't know, you guys are familiar with it. It's a stage version of Ramayana which is played on every city every year around Dashera and Diwali time. So this is how embedded Ramayana is in our culture. Now we felt that probably now is the right time when an epic like Ramayana can be told in the form it truly deserves. So, with the help of technology and the resources available, we have put our best effort in bringing this great epic from our country to the world.
We got a pretty big announcement today. Not an hour ago. Do you guys want to tell the folks what happened?
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that we just announced that we have now signed on a global distributor and a partner. Sony Pictures Entertainment will be distributing Ramayana.
Let's hear it!
What's really exciting is that I think in over 100 years of film in India and over 100 years in Hollywood, this would be, I think, the first time where an Indian film would be brought to the world by a mainstream Hollywood distributor for people of the world. And that is really...
Yeah! That's incredible. Congratulations. To see that trailer? All right, I'm gonna need two things from you. Wow, I have like chills. That was so special. Man. Well, we just got to see them as Lord Ram and Ravana, respectively. Do you guys want to meet them? I think you can do better than that. Do you want to meet them? One of the biggest stars in all of Indian cinema, a generational talent with both box office records and vast critical acclaim. You know him from Rockstar. You know him from Ya Jawani, Hi Jawani, Sanju, and Animal. Let's hear it for the great Ranbir Kapoor! Next up, we have another titan of Indian film, transforming the Kannada film industry and redefining Indian cinema. From KGF Chapter 1 and 2, two of the highest grossing Indian films ever made, the one and only Yash! sure these legends get a chance to see the trailer because they were back there. It's a smaller TV. Do you want to watch that trailer one more time alongside these folks? Let's play that trailer again. I got to appreciate. I love that this story is so resonant and timeless, and it's a story we spoke at CinemaCon. It's a story that is so impactful. No matter how much of it you know and have grown up through, it echoes through so many stories. And this globally recognized legendary story of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva must be such a responsibility to tell right. So I'd love to know what that weight felt like and when you felt like it was now the time to tell it.
So I think the weight of anything that has this sort of historic and emotional value is always very, very high. But I think as we were going through the process of putting it together, obviously Nitesh as a director and someone who's really studied and knows the subject matter incredibly well, I think really came to it with a lot of fundamental belief and reverence, which is critical because you cannot be doing justice to this level of belief system without people who actually also believe in it to a large extent. And so I think, I think I'd love for Nitesh to obviously add his side of it, but for me, just having that team around, from him to the whole development team, really thinking about each step of each aspect of what is it that's written and what is it that we have to make relevant for the people to consume. Just making that bridge be as seamless as possible was a very critical piece. But sir, happy to hear your.
Well, it was indeed very challenging, and one interesting thing which happened when I started working on Ramayana, that's ages back, was that initially, I was mostly aware of Valmiki's Ramayana and Tulsidasa's Ramcharitmanas. But when I started working on Ramayana and did in-depth study, I was astonished to know that there are over 300 versions of Ramayana in India. And each one is as revered. So, given the sensibilities of all these Ramayans involved and beliefs, different part of the people, different part of the country, different people believe in different versions, we had to keep all those sensibilities in mind, and at the same time we had to make it relevant and exciting for the rest of the world also. So that's why it took us a lot of time to develop the screenplay, and we had to take help from a lot of eminent scholars also, because you have to keep the sanctity of Ramayana intact. So there were a lot of do's and don'ts. So we would take certain things, we would take it to them, and we'll ask them, can we do this? Can we do this? And we would be told, okay, this you can do, this you can modify, this definitely don't do. So that's how we went about developing it, and the result is going to be there for you guys to see. We've kept the sanctity intact, but yet made it relevant and exciting for the rest of the world.
I'm so excited. It's here for me. Ranbir and Yash, this performance has to be so grounded, but with such spectacle. You have to bring such truth, and I know for each of you, you mentioned how you want the emotional resonance to be just as important as the spectacle people witness it. What was it like finding the small truths amongst the big spectacle? To play such big characters in something of this scale, but to find truth in it?
Hi guys. Just backstage, Yash and me were discussing that. He asked me, did you ever dream that something like this would ever happen? And it's such a matter of pride for us, for our country to be sitting in front of all you guys at Comic-Con, presenting our culture, our truth, our history to you guys. So thank you, Jai Shri Ram. To answer your question, I think it all comes down to belief and faith. I think all the people involved, the cast and the crew, they all had noble intentions to approach everything on this film with a lot of belief, a lot of truthfulness, a lot of good intentions, a lot of hard work, and I think that's the result of all of that. So I think it just boils down to belief and faith.
You feel it, sir?
Hi. Really excited to be here. As Ranbir Ranbir said, it's a proud moment for all of us. Hopefully we will deliver something which will open the doors for a lot of Indian filmmakers to come and position our stories, our talent here in this global platform. Thank you so much. What was your question?
Finding small truths in spectacle and finding that heart when everything is so large and the enormity of this importance, but also finding the truth in it for the performance.
I think that's the most important aspect of this film, because with technology, with the scale, we can build anything today. But the point is, what audience will resonate with is those moments, those small, nuanced things which they can relate to. If it doesn't move you, then any of the visual spectacle or technology will not really hold it. It's not good enough for audience to be believing in the subject or whatever you're trying to say. I think those are the things which we have really focused on. Ramayana is about humanity. The story is about simple things, what every human has a lot of conflicts on day-to-day life, because we have good things and bad things within us. What you subscribe to is important. When you see the story, that's what story will tell you, and that's why I think it survived for so many years, thousands of years, and even today it's relevant. I think people will witness it and understand why the story has survived for so many years, thousands of years.
When you realized after nearly a decade, okay, I have this feeling that this is in my grasp to put out there for the world. Was there a certain conversation or any moment in that research that felt like the epiphany?
As a filmmaker, you go through many such moments where you start feeling like you are getting it in your grasp. I'll tell you a very interesting part of my journey on Ramayana. At every stage, I feel just blessed to have got an opportunity to team up with such a brilliant set of actors and talent from all around the world. So just hearing their views, just meeting with them. Say for example, like I am sitting with Ranbir or I am sitting with Yash and I am discussing a scene, and Yash says, I'll sit like this. I start seeing Ravan in there. Ranbir says, I'll probably fold my hands like this and look more vulnerable. I start seeing Ram there. So these are the moments where you slowly start seeing your film fall in place, when you're starting the prep. Then comes the shoot bit of it, then comes the post bit of it. At every stage, the film is developing. It's almost like a baby which you're nurturing. And slowly you start seeing it in front of your eyes. And a part of it which you guys have seen here today, I can't feel happier than what we have shown here today, and you can see it coming alive completely. So that's the little bit about the process.
That's such a beautiful feeling. I can't imagine just seeing that reality shift in the moment. And were there any technical or filmmaking achievements that were developed through the production of this? Did you guys invent any technology or evolve anything you're really proud of?
Yeah, I think DNEG, obviously, as a lot of you would know, we've had lots of Oscars, almost 7 Oscar wins in the last 10 years. And the best visual effects, and even films where our work is not meant to be seen, where there are no visual effects, but there are some. And you can guess who I'm talking about. That came very recently. So obviously, we've developed a pretty broad palette of the kind of work that we do for the last 20-25 years. But then you bring in a film or a universe like the Ramayana, and you realize that there's so much more to what this one epic has than what we've done. And that includes us having to rebuild new tools, new technologies, new pipelines, and all sorts of interaction with different elements that is unique to this particular film, but it becomes something that DNEG needs to create. And that basically means that we can comfortably say this is the hardest project that DNEG has ever done in its entire history of 25 years. And that is, I think, quite a feat for all the artists who are actually sitting there and creating these shots, because you're seeing environments, you're seeing creatures, you're seeing different filming techniques, from motion control to motion capture, performance capture. You've got all the technologies of the world that are used in some of the biggest tent poles have all been integrated, running simultaneously on set. which is why it is easier said than done. You've got live actors, you've got digital actors, you've got environments. It's a whole concoction of everything. Whilst you tell the most human story. So it's not just another spectacle. That's why the Ramayana is complicated and has not been made in as much as one would have thought. That, for the country like ours, which has over 100 years of filmmaking legacy, this film could have been made for the big screen several times with this presentation, but it's not been done at that level. And that's sort of because I think the technology, the world, everything had to sort of come together to really make this happen.
And you mentioned coming. Did you unlock or find anything in yourself that surprised you playing that type of character?
I mean, people here will understand, like if their favorite. I mean to say, everybody will understand because their favorite superheroes or the characters which they have seen in their past, or if the movies have been made about them, if it is not presented in a manner which they would have imagined, I think they would be disappointed. That's a very common thing. But imagine a story or these characters which have been celebrated through ages, generations, and then when you try to make a movie and try to portray that character, it's a lot of pressure. But I think the best way to deal with this kind of thing is be genuine and be a fan of those characters or those stories. So I've approached it with simple approach. I was watching that movie. How would I want to see this character? It had to be brutally honest portrayal of that character, keeping all my whatever work I've done in the past or whatever my belief systems are. But the point here is it's very, very intriguing character, and it's got so much of layers. The best characters which we remember, which we carry for a long time, are the ones who believe in what they do. Even though if it is wrong, eventually the world will call it wrong or it's bad. But that particular character will never accept that it's wrong. So Ravana is one such character where he completely believes in what he's trying to do, is extremely powerful. How do I put it? It's like the OG villain. You can see, if you see all the villains in the world, I'm sure you guys have witnessed a lot of characters who are called villains or whatever it is. They all have belief system. But when you're watching this character or this story, I'm sure you will see like, okay, this I've seen in some movie, or this, I think this is an essence of that mythology. So it's like, I think this has traveled for a very long time. So when you see this, it is familiar but yet refreshing. The main aspect of it is the world, after all these exposure, instead of we all coming together in today's time, we have a lot of differences. We try to identify the differences. But what this story tells you, it's about larger good, it's about humanity, where in spite of all the differences, in spite of all different cultures we have, how do we come together? Because by the end of the day, all of us are humans and our emotions are same. How do we bring the world together is the story of this film. I think it's very, very important at this point in time. All of us are in that situation where different cultures should respect each other, different cultures should exchange their value system, we should learn from each other, and we should learn to accept the differences and really express our originality also. I think that's where Ramayana comes.
It's beautiful. You guys seem to get along amazing. I love the vibe and the energy. What was that bond like, getting to know each other, getting to meet each other, getting to work with each other, and then having to kind of turn that on its head?
You know, honestly, I guess you haven't read the Ramayana, but Ram and Ravan really meet at the end of the film. Maybe a meeting in the middle, but we haven't shot that yet, so we haven't had the opportunity to work together. But I've known Yash for some time now. I've been a big fan of his work, and I truly believe that he needed somebody with his aura, with his stardom, with his outlook to play this role. You know, he's played it with so much of swag, with so much of aura, with so much of honesty, that, you know, he's really made Ravan come alive. You know, over the years we've had a very stereotypical version of Ravan. You know, that which was just black. We never ever saw anybody go deep into the characteristics of Ram. And I think Nitesh, the writers, the makers, Yash, they all have really come together and made this character a bit more complex, and that's really interesting to see. Where the character of Lord Ram is concerned, I think it's needless to say that Ramayana and Lord Ram have been the conscience keeper for billions of people across the world, for generations, and they will continue to do that. Lord Ram is someone who enlightens us about the triumph of human spirit in times of adversities. He's somebody who stands for compassion, for forgiveness, righteousness, goodness. He's known as Maryada Purushottam, which means an ideal man. The perfect son, the perfect husband, the perfect teacher, the perfect student, the perfect brother. I remember when I was offered the film from Namit, my first initial reaction was fear and absolutely not. I don't deserve to play this part. I don't think I'm good enough to play this part. But I think very soon, knowing the intentions of all the makers, you realize that actually that fear turns into gratitude because it's an opportunity of a lifetime. It's an opportunity coming to me in this phase in my life when I can change for the better. I also became a father, coinciding to the time of this film offer. So, over these 3 years, telling my daughter about stories of Ramayana, going to set and actually performing those stories, it's been such a spiritual growth for me in the last 3 years that I only have gratitude to have this opportunity.
That's so beautiful. That's so wonderful. In fact, the righteousness embodied, that's so beautiful. In fact, Mariana,
Lord Rama in a film called Sita in I think 1935.
Wow.
So it's quite cool that I'm got this opportunity.
That is so special. Literally born for something. And I love that, it takes a righteous man to think I could not play a righteous man, and that the embodiment of the character. That's so beautiful.
I think that's the most important thing. I would like to add, nobody in this world can come and say that I have the virtue to play Lord Rama. That's how we remember. Just the fact that he said, I can't do it, says it all. Like you said, and he's a fabulous actor. I'm telling you guys, it's not easy to play Lord Rama, and the way he has really worked, and it's easy to play any character where you have complete freedom. But playing Lord Rama, the way he has pulled it off, huge respect to him because he's a fantastic actor, a big superstar in India. With all this responsibility, he's still so humble and he is surrendered to the character. You guys will witness a beautiful Rama with a great intent and with great sacrifice. He has done this. I should really be telling you guys that.
That's that energy I was talking about. It's beautiful to see that. I love it. And that bringing the world together and all these details also tying into the stories.
Exactly the same thing. And Lord Vishnu, who you see in the guy underwater, the god who's actually underwater and who's sort of preserver of all life on planet Earth. So, depending on who you speak to, they'll say that Lord Ram is an avatar or an avatar of Lord Vishnu, who came to Earth to protect, against any disbalance of power. So that sort of is, if you think about it, that inspiration, that visual actually sits true in various stories that are relevant today, in the world. And that sort of is, I think, the influence Indian mythology and Indian culture has had for decades, if not generations.
It's incredible. I'm excited to find all the layers and experience it, and then it feels like a story that as you grow up, talking about becoming a father in this timing, it'll just evolve for you as a person, and that's so special.
I'll just like to add, multiverse is mentioned in Ramayana.
Really?
Yes.
Ramayana and Pushpaka Vimana.
I'll just tell you one small incident which happens, Lord Hanuman is extremely protective of Lord Ram. So, he is not letting Yama come close to Lord Ram. Yama is the Lord of Death. So he's saying he can't come close to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram knows his time has to get over at some point of time. So he has to distract Hanumanji. So he drops his ring into a crevice, and that crevice is endless. And Hanumanji goes chasing for that ring. And he reaches really netherworld kind of a place. And he sees a mountain of rings. And he asked someone out there that, how do I find which ring belongs to Lord Ram? He says, in every yuga, you have come looking for a ring of Lord Ram.
Yuga is era.
In every era, you have come looking for that ring. That's the multiverse which is already existing.
You guys are making me so excited. Every beat of this, I'm so excited for this experience, man. And we started talking about
The first flying machine that Yash was talking about.
Ravana has a flying machine which is Pushpaka Vimana, which you saw in the trailer. That's envisioned then, back then, where you didn't even have the concept of flying launching, right? So it's already. It's not, we are not adding it. It's there.
That's incredible. We've talked about the global impact, the global scale, and the global creators, and I think two incredible examples are Hans Zimmer and A.R. Rahman. That is East meets West. That is so special. And we actually, just for you guys, so again, cameras down if you don't mind, we have an exclusive clip completely for you folks.
We have Shaktiman here, also one of a very big character from India.
Guys, American. Off the cage, off the cage. You guys. The only Indian character in Kanaka. He was busy with the food.
Don't leave, guys. More surprise for you.
All right, guys, head back to your seats. Head back to your seats.